Most AWS certification roadmaps that you'll find online right now are completely outdated. Some certifications have been removed, new ones have been launched, and if you follow the wrong roadmap, you'll waste months studying for exams that either no longer exist or won't actually help you get hired. I'm Suleiman. I've been in tech for more than 11 years. From an IT apprentice to running my own businesses across cloud and AI consulting, my software company StudyTech.ai and my academy, where I've helped more than 900 IT pros, engineers, and career switchers master cloud engineering and land six-figure roles, including at companies like AWS and Microsoft. Now, in this video, I'm revealing the only AWS certification roadmap that you will need going into 2027. Every certification in the exact order, what it costs, how long it takes, and why each one actually matters for your career. This is ideal if you're completely new to AWS because it gives you a realistic path to aim for with a clear order to follow. Now, just before we get into the roadmap, we need to cover what's changed because the landscape looks very different compared to even 12 months ago. AWS currently has 12 active certifications across 4 levels: foundational, associate, professional, and specialty. AWS has been aggressively restructuring its certification portfolio. The machine learning specialty, that's gone. You can no longer take that exam. The old SysOps Administrator Associate, that's also retired, replaced by a new CloudOps Engineer Associate. Now, on the other side, AWS has also launched brand new certifications: the AI Practitioner for the Foundational AI Knowledge, the Machine Learning Associate Certification, and the Gen AI Developer Pro Certification. They've also completely refreshed and updated the Security Specialty Certification with a brand new exam version that now also includes an entire domain on AI and ML security. Now, there's another reason why certifications matter more right now than they have done in years, and it's actually because of AI. Think about it. Anyone can now use AI to generate a portfolio of projects, write a polished resume, and even produce technical blogs. And actually, none of it proves that you really have the knowledge or the expertise. Having trust in what candidates put on a resume is at an all-time low right now. So a real proctored AWS exam that you have to sit under actual testing conditions where you can't use AI to help you, that's becoming one of the few ways to genuinely verify that someone has the knowledge that they claim to have. And that's a big shift. And it makes these certifications more valuable as a trust signal than they've ever been before. Now, with that said, let's get into the roadmap. The first thing to do is lay the groundwork, starting with the Cloud Practitioner, which is less of a standalone credential and more of an introduction to AWS. It compresses the entire AWS landscape into a single exam. Instead of spending months randomly kicking around the AWS console trying to figure out what all of these AWS services do, this certification gives you that a little bit of a structure. Why do companies migrate to the cloud in the first place? How do the pricing models work? Where does security responsibility sit between you and AWS? It covers the fundamentals that everything else builds on later on. The exam costs only $100, it's 90 minutes long, 65 questions, and you need 700 out of 1,000 to pass. Now, immediately after, you want to go and grab the AI Practitioner as well, because going into 2027, learning cloud without learning AI is getting just half of the picture. Companies everywhere are now trying to plug AI into their existing infrastructure. They've got data everywhere and they want predictions, automations, intelligent applications. The AI Practitioner covers how AI machine learning services work on AWS: Bedrock, SageMaker, Comprehend, Recognition, and more importantly, it teaches you how to think about when these services actually make sense for a business problem. Now, something that I tell my consulting clients is that not everything needs AI, and knowing the difference is what makes someone useful. The exam is also $100, 90 minutes, 65 questions, and again, 700 out of 1,000 to pass. Now, one very important thing before we go any further, because this is actually going to save you a lot of money. When you pass any AWS certification, AWS gives you a 50% discount voucher for your next exam. So by starting at the foundational level, you unlock half-price exams for the rest of your AWS certification journey. I'll include the discounted prices as well as we go along, but I won't keep repeating this. Just know that every time that you pass, you get 50% off the next one. So within the first month, that's 2 AWS certifications, and now you're ready for step number 2, the associate. Here, you'll want to grab the Solutions Architect Associate. which is the most popular AWS certification in the industry right now. It shows up in the majority of cloud engineering job descriptions. Hiring managers just expect you to have it now as a bare minimum. What this certification actually tests you is your ability to think in systems rather than individual services. Before this exam, most people know that S3 stores files and E2 runs servers. After this exam, you start understanding how those services connect into complete architectures and why you choose one design over another depending on the constraints. The exam is scenario-based, and here's a type of question that you'll get. A company has a web application running across a single availability zone, and they need to make it highly available. Should they add subnets in another availability zone, move the database to RDS multi-AZ, or set up all the scaling behind a load balancer? Each option solves it slightly differently, and you have to actually pick the approach that best fits the requirements. That kind of thinking, comparing options and understanding the trade-offs, is the real skill that this certification trains your mind to have when you see problems like this. And to be clear, passing it proves you have the theoretical knowledge to think through these problems. It doesn't prove that you've built highly available architecture in production, but it does prove that you understand the concepts well enough to approach real problems. And for a lot of hiring managers, that's enough for a first round interview. The exam is 130 minutes long, 65 questions, and $150. Give it at least 4 weeks of solid study, and you'll be off to the races. Now, there is a way to pass these AWS certifications much faster than the 4 to 6 months that it takes 99% of people. And the reason it takes that long in the first place is because they are stuck watching 30 to 40 hour Udemy courses that are extremely overwhelming, jumping between 5 to 6 different tools and spending hours on topics that they already understand. This leaves you incredibly frustrated and not making any real progress, so you never even end up getting actually certified. You've got the notes in one place, flashcards in the other, mock exams on another separate platform, tracking progress in a spreadsheet. So you'll end up spending more time managing the actual process of learning than actually getting exam ready. And the worst part, none of the platforms are actually personalized to you. Every course forces you through the topics that you already know. Every mock exam is the same for everyone, and you have zero visibility on when you're actually ready to book the exam. And that's not even accounting for all the costs that come with using 5 separate platforms. Now, the reality is, most of the people building these platforms have never actually sat an AWS exam or even worked in industry. They don't understand the problem that learners face day to day. That's why StudyTech.ai exists, a brand new AWS and AI certification platform. StudyTech.ai is the only one in the world that identifies what you already know and focuses your time exclusively on your knowledge gaps. And here is how it works and why it's been purposefully built this way to get you AWS and AI certified as fast as possible. When you sign up, you choose your certification and it takes a skill assessment. StudyTech figures out your strengths and your weaknesses across every domain of that exam. From there, every day that you log in, StudyTech takes care of every part of your learning journey for you. There's a loop that takes literally less than 10 minutes. You learn a focused piece of material from your weakest domain. You get quizzed on it immediately. Any questions that you get wrong automatically turns into flashcards so you can nail that exact knowledge gap. That is it. You log in, you hit a few buttons, you start learning straight away. No more 40 to 50 hour Udemy courses that you'll never finish. No more jumping between 5 to 6 different tools or watching videos on topics that you already know. That's such a waste of time. And when you finish one set, you can just move on to the next and you keep learning, forcing active recall and focusing on your weak areas. As you improve, StudyTech tracks your progress in real time and gives you visibility on exactly how much knowledge you have for each domain of the exam. Every action that you take is fed into a dashboard, is updated in real time, and personalized to you. And then once you start blitzing through the quizzes, you unlock the ability to do mock exams. These are inside StudyTech AI, and they come with the subscription. And yes, they are also personalized, so you're not wasting time on topics that you already know. And the best part, every mock exam feeds back into your profile and the dashboard and tells you exactly which domains are still weak. So once you're passing confidently and progressing through all the topics in each domain, you'll notice that the exam readiness score is updating in real time, and StudyTech AI will tell you and give you the signal to go book your exam when you are ready. No more guessing, no more flying blind, just a data-driven approach. So if you want to get AWS certified without wasting months, go check out StudyTech.ai, link in the description below. And right now, there's also a special discount on the yearly plan. So go take full advantage of that before it expires. Again, link in the description below. So step 3 is the professional level certifications, and this is where it gets really serious. There are 2 professional level certifications on this roadmap, and both of them carry serious weight going into 2027. The first is a Solutions Architect Professional. It's a natural progression from the associate, but the difficulty jumps significantly. You are no longer dealing with clean, straightforward problems. You're dealing with messy enterprise situations where every answer looks like it could be right, and the difference between them are subtle. Here is an example. A company wants to migrate a large on-premise application to AWS to improve reliability and cut operational overhead, and the development team is willing to make code changes. The exam gives you 4 different migration approaches and asks which one is the least complex to manage post-migration. Every option is technically valid and not wrong. The differences will be very subtle, and you'll need to understand the trade-offs deeply, but also focusing on what the requirements are for the project. The professional exam tests your understanding of hybrid architectures, migration strategies, advanced networking, multi-account governance, and disaster recovery. At this point, I wouldn't worry if a lot of that went over your head, as it's a professional level certification. This isn't the starting point, so by the time you get here, it's going to make a lot more sense. The exam costs $300, it's 3 hours long, 75 questions, and you'll need 750 out of 1,000 to pass. And here, you'll need at least 6 to 8 weeks of focused study. Obviously, don't forget, that's dependent on how many hours you put in daily and what your starting point is. Now, the second professional certification on this roadmap is the one that didn't even exist a year ago, the Generative AI Developer Professional Certification. This one is focused on generative AI. So think ChatGPT, AI assistants, AI-powered applications, that kind of thing. Specifically, it tests whether you understand how those kind of systems are actually built on AWS. Now, you don't need to be a data scientist or an AI researcher for this. What it's really testing is whether you can pick the right AI model for a use case, connect it to a company's own data so it gives useful answers, and make sure it doesn't make stuff up or leak any sensitive information, and also keeps the costs under control. It's really the theory behind how these systems work. Obviously, it's not proof that you built any of these AI systems yourself, but it's just still an important distinction that I have to make. But it can help you further down the line build those very applications, right? Because you've built the understanding. Right now, every company wants generative AI, but almost nobody knows how to actually do it properly. That gap between wanting it and being able to deliver it is massive. And if you start positioning yourself as someone who understands how these pieces all fit together, you'll be in serious demand for the job market. The exam costs are $300, it's 170 minutes long, 65 questions, and you'll need 750 out of 1,000 to pass. Again, give it 6 to 8 weeks at least to pass and prepare for this exam. Step 4, specialty. Cloud security is consistently ranked as the most in-demand tech skill, and the supply of people who understand it are nowhere near the demand that is needed. And the timing is very important. Companies are shipping code faster than ever. AI tools are generating infrastructure, deployment scripts, and application code at a pace that teams cannot keep up with reviewing. Over 80% of enterprise technology leaders are already reporting production failures tied to AI-generated code. More code, faster delivery, less oversight. That means more vulnerabilities, more incidents, and more demand for people who understand cloud security. AWS clearly sees this too. They've completely refreshed the security specialty with a new exam version, SCS C03, which now includes a dedicated domain on AI and machine learning security. The certification tests your theoretical understanding of identity and access management, encryption, network security design, incident response, compliance frameworks, and now AI security. The exam questions are scenario-based, things like how to contain a compromised instance while preserving forensic evidence, or how to investigate whether an employee's IAM permissions were changed during a security incident. And this is not work that's getting automated away. Security actually requires judgment and constant adaptation to the latest threats. And that's why companies are paying seriously well for people who have this knowledge. With that said, it's a specialty exam, so it's not one that you'll be ticking off the list straight away, and it's one that you'll grab as a last milestone to keep up with AI and security. The exam costs $300, it's 170 minutes, 65 questions, and again, you need 750 out of 1,000 to pass. Plan for at least 8 to 12 weeks of study for this one alone. So here is the roadmap. Step 1, the foundational level, cloud practitioner and AI practitioner. Step 2, associate level, solutions architect associate. Step 3, professional level, solutions architect professional and generative AI developer. Step 4, specialty, security specialty. 6 certifications, roughly 6 to 12 months of focused study time, depending on your starting point and your pace. And if you want to pass your AWS and AI certifications faster, check out studytech.ai, link in the description below, with a massive discount on the yearly plan. Good luck and become undeniable.